Your biggest enemy is comfort, the road most traveled. Presented by Theo E. David and the Audio Bookshelf. Welcome back to our Audio Bookshelf. We hope you enjoy the book, and please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons to get our latest content. Enjoy. Introduction. We all harbor grand dreams and visions that fuel us as we navigate the often monotonous routines of daily life. These dreams are our beacons, casting a hopeful light on the future to soften the harshness of the present. We believe in an upward trajectory, convinced that we won't remain at the bottom forever. Who would want that anyway? Yet, how often do we find ourselves postponing our desires? We comfort ourselves with the belief that the future will bring what we yearn for today. We say, tomorrow I'll start, or next year things will be different, but the truth is, this endless deferral keeps us tethered to the status quo, making it all too easy to let our dreams slip further away. Don't let your dreams become mere whispers in the wind. Embrace them now and start taking steps today to bring them into reality. After all, the future is built on the actions we take in the present. Yet we all know a sobering truth: the vast majority will remain far from the lives they've envisioned. For many, success is just a word, empty and elusive. But how did we end up here? Aren't we all driven to achieve our dreams? The truth is, while everyone wants success, not everyone is willing to put in the effort. Success isn't handed out, it's earned through relentless determination and hard work. It doesn't come served on a silver platter, waiting for you to simply reach out and take it. You can't sit back hoping your dreams will materialize without lifting a finger. No, it doesn't work that way. Success demands not only hard work but also fresh ideas and an unbreakable mindset. It requires pushing through moments of doubt and overcoming obstacles that seem insurmountable. It's about taking risks and embracing failures as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Those who achieve their dreams understand that every setback is a setup for a comeback, and every effort, no matter how small, brings them closer to their goals. Success is not a route for the weak of heart. It's a voyage that pushes your boundaries and tests your fortitude. However, the benefits are immeasurable for those who are prepared to work hard, who won't accept mediocrity, and who persevere in the face of difficulty. Success is not some far-off dream, rather. It is a genuine thing that can be attained by those who have the courage to work for it. You have to really work for success if you want it. It won't be simple, but you will work for your dreams for years to come. You'll take chances, encounter innumerable difficulties, and experience failure frequently. To explore the opportunities that await you beyond your comfort zone, you must take the initial step outside of it. You're listening to this audiobook because you want to transform your life. You're tired of mediocrity and ready to take action toward your goals. Let this guide be your companion on the journey to your dreams. By the time you finish listening, you'll be ready to step out of your comfort zone and chase the success you deserve. Chapter 1. Are you getting too comfortable? A dream is your creative vision for your life in the future. You must break out of your current comfort zone and become comfortable with the unfamiliar and the unknown. Dennis Whitley. Everyone enjoys being cozy in our daily lives. We naturally look for convenience and ease. Nowadays, with instant gratification available to us, getting what we want is simpler than ever. Groceries and meals can be delivered straight to your door with a mouse click or a swipe on a mobile app. It is not necessary to endure the heat and perspiration of a line. Almost anything can now be delivered right to your door thanks to the internet. But what if you took a different approach? What if you got up and went to the store, uncovering a variety of options and experiences you never noticed when ordering online? This is the essence of stepping out of your comfort zone. By pushing your boundaries, you discover new experiences and possibilities that you would never encounter if you stayed within your cozy bubble. This so-called comfort zone may seem pleasant, but in reality, it might be hindering your true potential. Embrace the challenge, and you might just unlock a world of growth and opportunity. Living in a comfortable bubble, we have a tendency to withdraw into our own little worlds. When we get too comfortable, we might first feel content, cheerful, and protected in our small, safe area. We have the ability to engage in activities that calm and relax us. But eventually, we lose interest and inspiration. It makes us unhappy, and our aspirations are placed on the back burner. However, despite their dissatisfaction, a lot of people still prefer not to upset the apple cart. Do you recognize yourself in this? You prefer to keep things as they are. You've grown so accustomed to comfort that the idea of abandoning it to engage in an uncomfortable activity makes you shudder. What does that mean for you? It indicates a change in you, and furthermore, it's not better. You've changed from being a scared little mouse to someone who was once obsessed with dreams, constantly worried that your little block of cheese would be taken right out from beneath your nose. Comfort zones do change. You want to go out and chase your dreams, but you're afraid that if you leave your comfort zone, you won't be able to find your way back. You think it's going to disappear, but that's not true. Do you know why? Because our comfort zones don't stay the same forever. As we grow and experience more of life, our comfort zones expand with us. Think of it this way: what's inside your comfort zone now used to be outside of it at some point. Look at your home. For most of us, our homes are at the heart of our comfort zones. It's where we sleep, eat, relax, and enjoy time with family. But have you always lived in that same home? Did you always have the same people living with you? I bet your answer is a big no. Before you moved into your present home, you lived somewhere else, and that somewhere else was part of your comfort zone too. When you decided to move from your old home to the new one, you probably felt scared. Excited too, but mostly scared. You were leaving your old comfort zone behind. However, after a few days, weeks, or months of living in your new home, you suddenly realize it has become your new comfort zone. You no longer felt scared. Your new home was no longer the unknown. You'd finally settled in. You were finally comfortable. See, that wasn't so bad, was it? There's nothing wrong with being comfortable. Everyone seeks comfort, no matter their status in life. But remember, your comfort zone grows as you do. Embrace change, and you'll find new comforts along the way. When comfort becomes a problem, it becomes a problem when comfort abruptly gets in the way of your aspirations and objectives in life. Things become problematic when you allow your comfort to trump your aspirations. Your comfort zone is starting to cause issues. The issue is that issues shouldn't be allowed to fester. They are intended to be resolved and solved. Hence, if you want to achieve, you must choose wisely when your comfort zone gets in the way of your goals. Chapter 2: Your comfort zone is killing your dreams. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Neil Donald Walsh. What is your greatest life dream or objective? What is the duration of such a dream? How did you manage to do that? Do you think you're getting nearer to your objective? If you've spent a very long period in your comfort zone, you might find these questions difficult and quite upsetting. You will undoubtedly recall how dreamy you used to be. How do you plan to grow up to be a huge star, a prosperous engineer, a well-known scientist, or whatever else you want to be? But take a look at you right now. What do you see? Do you like it? Is it what you've long imagined yourself doing? Perhaps. Perhaps not. You alone are aware of the solution. You breathe new life into your dreams. Do you know why so many accomplished individuals claim that your comfort zone is the death chamber for your dreams? That's because they have walked in your position before. They were also sluggishly residing in their comfort zones formerly. However, they had dreams that carried them far from their familiar surroundings. They would still be doing the same things they were doing years ago if they didn't step outside of their comfort zones. However, they didn't choose to live like that. Their aspirations took precedence over their comfort. They faced difficulties and roadblocks in life. Still, they continued. They persisted in pursuing their goals. Yes, they failed numerous times and committed blunders, but it didn't stop them from pursuing their objectives. Far into the future, their sights were fixed on the goal. They were aware of their obligations. They also understood that they would never amount to anything if they stayed in their comfort zone. Your dreams will never come true. Your true potential. Every one of us is capable of greatness. You won't realize your full potential, though, if you stay stuck in your comfort zone. Consider a bird that is confined to a tiny cage. The bird is aware that it can fly, but as long as it is kept in a cage, it will never be able to determine how high it can travel. You are that bird. Your comfort zone is really your cage, and you're stuck inside of it. The good news is that you have the freedom to choose to step outside of your comfort zone, unlike captive birds. Simply put, you're unwilling. You must unlock your cage if you wish to realize your actual potential. That should be your first course of action. Learn new things. You are now able to feel the breeze on your face with your cage wide open. You are now able to experience freedom. Now is the time to pursue your goals. However, dreams are erratic. They seem so close to you one moment when you can see them so clearly, and then in the next minute they're gone forever. You must have a plan if you want to swiftly realize your dreams. Not just any old strategy, but a strong, carefully considered one. A strategy that can call for you to pick up new knowledge and abilities you would not have had the chance to learn and try new things if you had stayed in your comfort zone. No, you've already mastered everything in your comfort zone. You felt uneasy and on edge when you tried new things, but you don't have these restrictions when you're not in your comfort zone. You'll encounter a plethora of options that were previously unattainable outside of your comfort zone. It is your responsibility to seize and cling to such opportunities. They will increase your knowledge and skill set. They'll help you get nearer to your objectives. Chapter 3: Setting the right goals is key to your success. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Tony Robbins. You can't expect your dreams to materialize out of thin air in your comfort zone. Rather, you will have to step outside of your comfort zone in order to realize your dreams. You will go through a huge wilderness, an unknown and frightening place. You could feel hopeless and like giving up. Your heart will be thumping loudly in your ears. The dampness of tears will be felt on your cheeks. You'll notice a decline in your resolve. The vast majority of people who have ever mustered the bravery to step outside of their comfort zones now give up. They disintegrate. They give in to their mistakes. They give in to the difficulties. They reverse their direction and head back once more. They withdraw into their comfort zones with no intention of coming out. The smart thing to do. It's quite difficult to step into the unknown abyss beyond your comfort zone. You won't make much progress before packing up and returning home if you're not emotionally, psychologically, and physically prepared. So how do you go from your comfort zone point A to your dreams point B? Obviously, it would be wise to be ready for your trip. You can't expect to succeed by winging it. It would be similar to taking a month-long vacation overseas without prior planning. You don't know where you're going to stay. You just purchase the tickets to your location. You have no knowledge about the location apart from the location's name. You know very little about the people or the culture. Things might turn bad as soon as you get there. It's possible for you to get lost, robbed, or injured, and you don't want yourself to experience it. If you want to achieve your dreams, you must plan them carefully, just like you would any vacation. You wouldn't be able to tell whether direction is up or down otherwise. Setting smart goals. Regular, mundane goals are not the same as smart goals. You don't merely declare that your dream is to run a prosperous company someday. That's merely a general objective. That's what most individuals would say. It's likely that such individuals aren't much closer to reaching their general objectives either. What then do? You begin by actually devoting some time to defining your objectives. Setting smart goals doesn't take 5 seconds. Setting wise objectives means digging deep inside to find your true desires. First and foremost, your SMART goal needs to satisfy the SMART standards. It denotes the following: time-sensitive, specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic. This criterion makes it immediately apparent that merely wanting to become a successful businessman someday would not be enough. Refine your ambitions to meet the SMART requirements. If you want to become a successful businessman in the future, you could inquire about the following. Which type of business are you interested in? Do you wish to start your company from the ground up? Must you purchase a franchise? Which sector of the economy would you like to work in? Do you possess enough money to finance your company? If not, how do you intend to raise money? What is your goals timeline? 3 years? 10? As you can see, setting a SMART objective will not be as simple as setting a generic, arbitrary goal. You will need to consider your options and put your thoughts in writing. What are the benefits and drawbacks of each option you are thinking about? Absolutely, achieving your SMART goal will force you to use your intellect. But in the end, doing so is the only and proper course of action. Each SMART objective helps you to remove a lot of uncertainty. You won't be constantly doubting yourself, which simply makes you move more slowly. You are already aware of your desires. The only thing left to do is make sure you never lose sight of your SMART objective. You could begin by recording it in your journal. You can make multiple copies of your objective and attach it with adhesive or hang it in a visible place. You'll accomplish your goals faster and more successfully if you set SMART goals. Yes, you will still have to make your way through the dark and dangerous unknown that is outside of your comfort zone. However, you'll be more armed and ready now. Chapter 4. Planning your course of action. Your life will be no better than the plans you make and the actions you take. You are the architect and builder of your own life. Fortune, Destiny, Alfred Amontapert. It's crucial to establish and clarify your SMART goal. You don't, however, stop there. Who's to say your objective is truly wise if you do? An astute action plan is included with every SMART goal, a 2-sentence or 1-paragraph action plan that continues to reach your objective, your destination, and your point B. You actually need an action plan that outlines every important step you must take. You need a good plan if you don't want to get lost when traveling. It is going to serve as your success blueprint. A sense of direction. For a little minute, picture yourself embarking on a road trip to a far-off place, say a millennium from now. In your hands, there is a map. You draw a circle around where you are right now, and another circle around where you want to go next. You join the 2 circles together. However, you don't merely sketch a straight line. Instead, as there are most likely other routes to your goal, you find the closest distance between the 2 circles. You make a wise decision by taking a route that avoids back roads and passes through highways. You designate a star for each significant town or city you want to visit. Most likely you'll stay the night there. Organizing a 1,000-mile road trip is analogous to organizing your career route. You can't simply claim to know where you're going in general. If you want to get to your goal more quickly, you must prepare ahead of time. You will lose days traveling if the details are not planned. It's all about the details, isn't it? Success, a labor of love. Establishing a goal that satisfies the SMART requirements is the first step. The next step is to draft a thorough action plan that will outline the precise route you must take to travel 1,000 miles to reach point A from point B. The majority of people lack the patience to complete all of these tasks. They would believe that all of this planning is pointless and a waste of time. They'll believe that they already know their destination. All I need to know is that they will say. They will therefore forgo the planning phase, hop in their vehicles, and begin their 1,000-mile road trip. The odd thing is, you'll see them at the side of the road a few kilometers down the road. They either ran out of petrol or their cars broke down. Nope, they didn't check to see if they could withstand the lengthy trip. Conversely, you will be traveling contentedly until you reach your objective. Your careful preparation has paid off. It is now necessary to lay out both your dreams and your goals in the same manner. To begin, consider segmenting your primary objective into more manageable parts. You should divide your goals into 1 year, 2 years, and so forth if you've given yourself 10 years to accomplish them. By the time the first year ends, you need to have reached milestone 1. You ought to have reached milestone 2 by the end of the second year, and so on. Annual goals are fantastic, but they're still a touch too large to be reached with ease. As a result, you should divide your objectives into weekly or monthly targets while keeping in mind the results you must attain by the end of the year. A daily or weekly to-do list is far simpler to complete than an annual one. There's a surge of gratification you get when you tick things off your list. You experience productivity. You are pleased with yourself. You run the risk of losing motivation if you don't break down your large ambitions into manageable, smaller mini-goals. It might seem as though you're not doing enough. You risk undoing all of your hard work thus far if your anxieties and insecurities start to surface again. Chapter 5. Facing your fears. Face your fears and doubts, and new worlds will open to you. Robert Kiyosaki. Like everyone else, we all have phobias and comfort zones. As you progress toward accomplishment, one by one, your worries will start to surface. They will attempt to divert you from your objectives. They'll try their hardest to frighten you so you'll scurry, tail between your legs, back to your cozy place. However, what's the deal? Fears are only frightening because you allow them to be so. Consider this. Why are you terrified of your fears yet no one else is? Why do you feel that nobody else shares your fear? You own them, is the response. Your fears are internal to you. Only you are frightening yourself, both deliberately and unconsciously. You're allowing your thoughts to wander aimlessly. You must confront your anxieties if you are to achieve your objectives. There are numerous strategies for overcoming your phobias. Here are a few of them. Understand your fear. Both the fear of falling and the dread of loud noises are said to be the only two phobias that newborn humans have. This explains why noises and sudden movements startle babies and cause them to cry. Our fears stem from the acquisition of everything else. It follows that your anxieties must have a rationale. See past your worries and try to identify where they came from. When was the last time you experienced fear? Additionally, why? Have you experienced anything so awful that it has affected you negatively, and you're afraid to even think about it anymore without trembling? You'll discover that it's a lot simpler to overcome your fear once you give it some reasoning. You can generally discover an answer to your anxieties if you approach them logically. You can write down your anxieties on paper to help you discover an antidote more easily. Next, write your antidote, that is, your suggested strategy for overcoming each specific fear, beside it. Although this is a basic method, it is effective. Give it a shot. You might be shocked by what you find. Keep yourself busy. You don't think about your worries when you're occupied. Your thoughts will not be consumed by your anxieties and worries when they are elsewhere. You have to take care of something more crucial. The greatest method to pass the time is to actually do whatever scares you. Make small progress. It can be sufficient to just take action to overcome your anxieties in order to keep them away. As you take each step, your courage increases. Your fears will have an inverse relationship with your courage. Your fears start to fade the more brave you are. Your fears will vanish completely when your bravery reaches its peak. Stop scaring yourself. Terror breeds more terror. It makes sense that you would feel afraid if you tell yourself that you are. However, I promise you that you won't feel afraid if you firmly tell yourself that you're not afraid. Consider the good story rather than focusing on the negative one. It's normal to feel depressed at first if you were turned down for a job you really, really wanted. But figure up a means to get back up right away. Don't focus on the drawbacks of not landing a job. For example, you might believe that simply because you'll be unemployed for a short bit longer, it means you'll starve to death or end up homeless. You're not helping yourself when you frighten yourself in that way. Alternatively, you may focus on the bright side. For example, you could argue that given your lack of success in the job, you were destined for something bigger. You wouldn't have advanced or grown in that position, but the opposite. Thus, you should search for a superior choice. That kind of perspective will help you see that our anxieties aren't always justified. Additionally, when you think erratically, your judgment is tainted by your feelings and negativity. You allow it to overcome you. Thus, all it actually takes to see things for what they are is to bring light to your concerns. Maybe you just need to identify and seize the chance that may be waiting for you. You should now realize that it is illogical to be terrified of stepping outside of your comfort zone. Although there may be monsters waiting to be discovered beyond it, it's not all about that. It all comes down to the abundance of opportunities that are right outside your door and that you will never get within your comfort zone. Chapter 6: Replacing Negativity with Positivity. Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will. Zig Ziglar. You will never reach your life's objectives if you believe that you would be better off staying in your comfort zone. Your aspirations are much outside your comfort zone. Guess where you're going to end up for the rest of your life if you allow your negativity to stand in the way? Yes, it is correct. You'll be unable to leave your cozy zone. You'll be sorry for yourself and angry at anyone who has ever attempted anything that you know you could never do. You're going to find yourself caught up in a negative feedback loop, and you already know where that will lead: nowhere. Here are some crucial guidelines to follow in order to see the light at the end of your comfort zone before your negativity overcomes you. Focus on what really matters. You have an objective in mind. To help you reach that objective, you have developed a strong plan. However, when you're up against so many challenges and your comfort zone seems so appealing, it's quite simple to forget about all of that. Prior to completely giving up on your aspirations, you should take stock of your priorities. Why did you decide on that specific objective? You can easily search through your initial notes or entries if you keep a notebook during your journey. Your goals and aspirations, and most crucially your why, would have been documented in writing. That's why you should be concentrating on it. That's the rationale for your actions. That explains why you're taking such significant chances and taking on all of these challenging tasks. Don't allow any of these challenges to deter you. When you keep your why in mind, all of the optimistic, upbeat thoughts you had at the start of your trip will come back to you. It will inspire you and provide you with a strong kick in the ass. There's no limit to what you can do. The negativity of negative thinking severely limits them. They won't be able to accomplish anything positive or notable at all, since their negativity will hold them back. They wouldn't take advantage of it even if they had the abilities and talent to pursue their goals. No, their pessimistic mindset would put an end to their aspirations. That's not the case with you, though. You are aware that such confining boundaries won't exist beyond your comfort zone. You are aware that you can quickly discover your actual potential by stepping outside of your comfort zone. You'll be able to notice all the opportunities that are lying in plain sight when you have an optimistic outlook. Look forward to your failures. A positive person might suggest that your failures would physically reveal to you what you need to do in order to achieve. Give that advice to negative thinkers, though, and they will disparage you. They'll tell you that your failures are evidence that you will never succeed. Never trust them for a second. Ask any successful person if their path to success was easy to follow, or if they encountered any setbacks or disappointments along the road. Honestly, they'll most likely laugh in your face. They will then go on to tell you about all the mistakes they made, the failures they experienced, and the many hours they devoted to attempting to decipher the lessons their failures were trying to impart to them. They will then tell you that they wouldn't be where they are now if they hadn't experienced failure. Although it has such a negative reputation, failure isn't always so horrible. Consider this: your failures teach you what you cannot and should not do in the future. Your ambitions will be closer to you the more failures you have. All you're doing is marking off all the scenarios in which your plan will fail. Eventually, you'll discover the ideal mix, procedure, or framework that will bring you accomplishment. Be excited about the future. There is nothing to get enthused about for negative people. They won't be anticipating what the future holds for them. Even in situations where there are none, they will search to find the drawbacks. Anything that is outside of their comfort zone will make them suspicious. They'll be the pessimists, bringing forth their dire predictions for everybody these days. You wouldn't want to be around those kinds of individuals, would you? Should you do so, you will also be devoid of anticipation for the future. When you eventually get to accomplish what you've been aiming for all this time, you won't be anticipating it. Even when you think positively, you'll still be conscious of the ominous clouds hanging over the sky, knowing that things are rarely as perfect or brilliant in real life. You won't be fooled into thinking that they will be. But rather than concentrating on the bad things, you'll notice the good things and look forward to the future. Chapter 7: Working on your self-discipline. Disciplining yourself to do what you know is right and important, although difficult, is the high road to pride, self-esteem, and personal satisfaction. Margaret Thatcher. The road to success is paved with temptations and distractions constantly pulling you in different directions. Without self-discipline, it's all too easy to lose your way. Instead of taking decisive action on your goals, you might find yourself aimlessly wandering, caught up in activities that bring fleeting pleasure but little progress. Success demands more than just dreams and desires. It requires unwavering commitment. To stay committed, you need self-discipline. This means making conscious choices every day that align with your goals, even when the easier path tempts you. It's about resisting the urge to procrastinate, pushing through challenges, and staying focused on the bigger picture. Remember, every moment of temptation is an opportunity to exercise your self-discipline. Each time you choose to stay focused, you strengthen your commitment to your dreams. Success isn't achieved overnight. It's the result of consistent effort and the determination to stay on track, no matter the distractions that come your way. Learning to say no. Saying no isn't always all that difficult. After all, it's just a two-letter word. But in actuality, it's easier said than done. Setting boundaries is crucial for this reason. This is the boundary that you should not cross. You should concentrate on your objectives. The limits you establish will assist in categorizing things as either beneficial and helpful or a total waste of time. Saying no is necessary if someone or something tempts you to cross that boundary and you know it will hurt you more than help. It can feel awkward saying no to something for the first time. However, as time goes on, your resolve gets stronger, and it gets easier for you to turn down distractions. The more times you say no to attempts, the more you'll realize that saying yes all the time is not going to satisfy your friends' needs. Tell them about your objectives. If they are unaware of the reasons behind the constraints or restrictions you have placed on yourself, Explain to them how it will be detrimental or unproductive for you to comply with their desires. Sincere friends will sympathize. Sincere buddies will be there for you, no matter what. Good habits are important. Your routines contribute to your identity. People will most likely have a poor opinion of you if you have a lot of undesirable habits. You do not want that. What you can do instead is swap out your negative behaviors for positive ones. The problem is that breaking harmful behaviors is not always simple. We actually perform our habits instinctively and without much thought since they are so ingrained in us. However, how can you identify harmful habits to begin with? Negative habits are ones that don't advance your development in any way. They are essentially a distraction rather than anything that will assist you in reaching your objectives. Certain unhealthy behaviors, such as drinking and smoking, can even be harmful. Once your negative habits have been recognized, you must consciously choose to break them. One option available to you is to utilize it as a hook. As soon as you see yourself engaging in your negative habits, you stop, take a big breath, and replace them with something constructive. By substituting new positive habits for your old negative ones, you can develop positive habits in this way. It's crucial to note that new habits take a while to stick. They can develop over the course of a few weeks or months. You will become aware that you have been strengthening your self-discipline as well as forming your new habits. You need accountability. Accountability can be divided into two categories: accountability to others and accountability to oneself. It's actually simpler to be accountable to someone else, particularly if that someone genuinely wants you to succeed. If they discover that you haven't been pursuing your goals, they won't hold back. In the event that you have been playing too much instead of working, they won't hold back in reprimanding you. It's far more difficult to be responsible for yourself. You'll need a great deal of self-control and self-discipline to pull it off. Lying to oneself is quite simple. It's quite simple to avoid taking responsibility. On the other hand, you will find it easy to be accountable to yourself if you lead an honorable life. Keep a journal to help you be more accountable to yourself, especially if you're a traditional person. On the other hand, if you enjoy the comfort of contemporary technology, you can find a lot of useful computer software and applications. Engage in both self and other accountability to strengthen your self-discipline and accelerate your goal achieving. Rewarding self-discipline. While developing self-discipline takes effort, if you have it down smoothly, you'll be able to accomplish so much more. Although learning new habits and saying no are difficult tasks, they are both fantastic accomplishments that deserve recognition. Setting up a reward system is crucial. It sustains your motivation. It provides you with something to anticipate. It forces you to think, I have to get this done by tomorrow so I can go get a massage for myself. Although incentives might be beneficial, you must be careful not to give yourself something that would hinder your progress. For example, you wouldn't want to treat yourself to an unlimited buffet if you were trying to lose weight, would you? If you select the incorrect kind of award, you could potentially undo all of your hard work. The appropriate incentives will support and strengthen your life's ambitions and objectives. Thus, exercise caution and ensure that you do not inadvertently set yourself backward rather than moving toward your objectives. Chapter 8: Motivating Yourself When You're in a Slump. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommended daily Zig Ziglar. If you're having a poor day, don't feel too horrible about it. There are others besides you. The truth is that everyone experiences periods of low motivation. For this reason, it's critical to have a steady supply of inspiration. Your internal driving force is your motivation. You won't have the motivation to carry on with your adventure if you lose it. You'll revert to your negative behaviors. When you're at your lowest point, you'll return and take refuge in your familiar surroundings. You'll give up on pursuing your objectives. It is not what you want to undo years and months of labor. Therefore, find a way to get motivated again before giving up. Extrinsic motivation. When you have extrinsic motivation, outside forces drive you. This usually takes the shape of incentives and penalties. Your desire to succeed stems from your desire to win that gold medal or cash prize. Your desire to excel in your field stems from your want to be acknowledged by others, including mentors, loved ones, and superiors. When it comes to penalties, some people are motivated to take action when they anticipate receiving a penalty or having something taken away from them. Let's say you have a task that you need to do before the end of the week. An additional day off is your prize if you finish the work. You will not receive a single day off if you fail. Instead, you will work nonstop for 2 weeks. To help you remember what you stand to gain or lose when you're feeling down, you can post an image of your prize or penalty on your wall. Intrinsic motivation. Self-motivation is known as intrinsic motivation. Your will to succeed and your passion are driven by something deep within you. You want to satisfy yourself, which is why you want to accomplish your goals. You want to convince yourself that you possess the necessary skills for success. For instance, your objective can be to become the best player in your sport. The money, the accolades, or the prizes don't matter to you. Of course, they're fantastic, but that's not the main reason you want to achieve. You want to excel because you know that will provide you the greatest happiness in the end. When you're feeling depressed, remind yourself of your motivation for success. Remind yourself that your goal is to excel and become the best athlete of all time. After that, your motivation will return. Make motivation a habit. Developing motivation as a habit will demand a great deal of self-control. Essentially, what you have to do is locate a fresh routine that will inspire you each time you engage in it. There are numerous methods available for doing it. For instance, you could establish the habit of rising early in order to complete your daily 5 a.m. run if you're attempting to lose weight. Your daily run serves as your motivator. Your body experiences an adrenaline surge every time you go for a run, which motivates you to run even faster. Because you're so eager to lose weight, you go for runs each and every day. When the weather is nice, you go outside and run. On bad days, you use a treadmill to run. It will be much easier to reach your goals if you have developed the habit of being motivated. You perform your habit outside of routine, which means that routine also governs your source of motivation. Turn obstacles into opportunities. Even the most driven person can falter in the face of difficulties and challenges. It can be difficult at times to look past the massive issue that is right in front of you. You're unable to look past it since it obscures your perspective. It resembles a massive wall that keeps you from reaching your life's ambitions and desires. It can be challenging to look beyond your current circumstances when you're in a slump. There are individuals scolding you for not living up to expectations and breathing down your neck. You're mad at yourself too. Right now, it's crucial that you give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. Hold off till the fog lifts. Once your thinking is clear again, you might notice a lot of opportunities to break out of your rut. You'll return with a more optimistic view of life and a much better personality. You'll have a positive self-image and optimism about your prospects of achieving your objectives. Chapter 9: Expanding your comfort zone. As you move outside of your comfort zone, what was once the unknown and frightening becomes your new normal. Robin S. Sharma. There are alterations to our comfort zones. It's merely a figment of our imagination that keeps us from experiencing fear or anxiety while going about our everyday lives. We feel completely in control of ourselves in this zone. We must venture outside of our comfort zones if we are to meet our objectives. However, that doesn't mean you have to walk away from it completely and never look back. Comfort zones do not function that way. Even those who are successful have comfort zones. They didn't completely give it up to pursue their aspirations. Even so, when they were tired and needed to return to what was known for a while, they went back to their comfort zones. However, they refrained from letting themselves become imprisoned there. In reality, what they accomplished was gradually broadening their comfort zones and transforming the strange into something recognizable and cozy. The unfamiliar becomes familiar. In order to venture outside of your comfort zone and eventually expand it, you must first take a step forward. It is common sense to realize that you cannot escape if you do not take the required action, in this case, moving forward. It's similar to your first time venturing out into a strange, busy environment. You approach the windows and pull the curtain aside to get a better look at the outside world. Go to the door and open it as soon as you determine that it is safe. However, you don't just start off by taking bold, self-assured steps as though you've been doing it for years. Instead, you open the door, take another glance outside, and then go outside. After that, you advance a small distance and so on, step after step. While doing all of this, keep an eye out for any indication of danger. Your confidence increases as you do more actions. You'll start to relax and let your guard down after taking a few hundred steps or so. You begin to settle in after a while as you get to know the area and make friends with the locals. Did you witness what transpired there? Since you were new to the area, you were initially reluctant to venture outside. However, you eventually grew accustomed to that community. You expanded your comfort zone to include your new neighborhood after leaving your previous one, which was your house. I see now that it wasn't that scary, was it? Fight the good fight. Feeling intimidated while you're in a foreign place is very normal. That is the inherent wiring of our DNA. Humans have a fight or flight reaction when presented with uncertainty. We can either flee flight or hold our position fight. There will be numerous times when pursuing our dreams will put our ability to fight or flee to the test. We will have to fight more often than flee in order to get to our final destination. There are times when it makes sense to flee, especially if the impediment in your path is a monstrous beast and you will perish if you do not flee. However, the key is that you must return and resume where you left off after running away. You shouldn't give up on your pursuit of achievement. Ultimately, though, if you desire even the remotest possibility of victory, you must possess a battling mentality. You would generally need to take a firm stance. You would have to have the courage to defeat and destroy the dragons that stood in your way. Every inch of territory you win as a result of your successes will be yours. You are deserving of every inch. Naturally, your enlarged comfort zone will include the things you have overcome. Continue challenging yourself. Learning new things is a challenge that leads to personal growth. Gaining the knowledge that your anxieties were merely illusions comes from facing and conquering your fears. Taking chances not only increases your chances of success, but also teaches you something new. When you achieve success, you figure out the right recipe for achievement. When something goes wrong, you learn what not to do the next time. You should push yourself to explore and try new things if you feel that your life has stagnated because you've spent too much time in your comfort zone. Your comfort zone increases and widens along with you with each victory and talent you acquire. Chapter 10. Taking the leap. You only do good work when you're taking risks and pushing yourself, Sally Hawkins. To reach your goals and leave your comfort zone, you will need to make a significant leap of faith. You genuinely have no idea what will transpire along the way, let alone if you will be successful or not. You cannot be certain that everything will go as planned, even if you have carefully planned every step you will take to get to your destination. There are just too many outside variables at play that affect both where you are and where you want to go, so there is only so much you can do. Believe in yourself. You have to have confidence in yourself when you make the leap. You have to have faith in your ability to complete the tasks you have set for yourself. If not, what would be the purpose of making the initial leap? Who else will believe in you if you don't? No one is the response. Therefore, ask yourself if you believe in yourself. Before you even consider making the plunge, you must start over at the beginning if you don't. Determine what steps you need to take to boost your self-confidence. Do you believe that you now lack the necessary skills? Next, ascertain how to obtain those abilities. Perhaps consider returning to school or searching for positions that will allow you to acquire those abilities. Or perhaps you believe that you lack the proper mentality or mindset to be successful at something this significant and vital. If so, you ought to think about registering for one of the many available self-development courses. Once you possess the appropriate knowledge, abilities, and mindset, proceed with your action plan and make the leap. Integrity is necessary. People with integrity are respected by all. There are far too many people without it. As a result, we eventually come to like and trust those who have a reputation for being honest and reasonable. You must make a change in your ways immediately if you do not lead an honorable life. To succeed, integrity is necessary. You must always be truthful with yourself. It is imperative that you follow through on your dreams if you have made the decision to do so. When you are honest with yourself, you won't convince yourself that you'll try your hardest to achieve and then give up on it. Nope. If you have faith in your ability to succeed, you will go above and beyond to achieve your goals, even in the event that it takes your entire life. You will follow through on your promises. You won't be able to live with yourself any other way. It is irrelevant if you are afraid to step outside of your comfort zone because you will encounter uncertainty in the outside world. You've promised yourself something, and you're not going to back down from it. But don't break. Along the journey, you'll encounter numerous situations where the options you are given don't align with your initial plan. It's possible that what you desire is just not available right now. Thus, you just go hunt for the next best thing rather than saying no to the entire thing. It's critical to know when to modify or bend. You occasionally need to be adaptable. Planning isn't always possible, so sometimes you have to go with whatever would enable you to accomplish your objectives. You can lose your entire dream or aim if you're not willing to make any concessions. Some people give up on their goals solely because they are unwilling to change. They weren't going to stray from the guidelines they had established for themselves. Go for it if it will help you go forward and toward your objectives, especially if it won't interfere with your moral compass. Maybe it's wiser to wait for a better opportunity if it does affect your ideals. Weeping for something you cannot have accomplishes nothing. Accepting your fate is the only option available to you sometimes. Ask yourself if you're willing to give up your comfort and make concessions along the way in order to achieve your dreams before you make the largest step of your life. In conclusion, our aspirations and objectives provide us with purpose in life. They direct us on which highways to take and which direction to go. But keep in mind that you must leave your comfort zone in order to get to your destination. Comfort zones hold significance as well. However, we must not allow them to deter us from pursuing our goals. Get the guts to step outside of your comfort zone, proceed, and take the route that will ultimately bring you prosperity. Thanks for listening, and please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and also click the small bell icon to receive a notification every time a new free audiobook has arrived. Thanks again.